Good morning. I am Carrie Ann Foster from Intentionally Domestic and One Vibrant Mama, and today we are talking about our 2019 bullet journal setup. So this is my bullet journal for the year. This is an A4 size, which is about 8.5 by 11. This was last year's bullet journal. This was about 5 by 7, so you could see the size difference. This is an A5, this is an A4. Most people choose the A5 size. I choose to go with A4 because I am trying to organize a home, a business, and homeschooling all in one spot without losing my mind. I know some people prefer to keep separate trackers for each. I cannot keep up with multiple books. So one larger book it is, and that's what works for me. So this book is from Minimalism Art. You can get it on Amazon, and it's a dot grid matrix A4 size, and it comes in multiple colors. It's about $15, and I will link to it in the post here. Alright, so because you are making your own organizer versus buying one, the first thing you want to consider is putting in an index. There are a few things I recommend that everybody do no matter their situation, and an index is one of them, okay? So this book is almost 200 pages, so I have left 4 pages for index, and I just put a column in to put the numbers and then where that item is located, okay? And this book does not automatically page number. I also have to write in the page numbers. Okay, next up, 2019 at a glance. The next thing I put in is a list of dates that I need to be aware of or be thinking about, or things I need to remember to do in a specific month. So some of these things will have dates attached, some will just be general reminders, okay? After that, I have my goal list. I break my goals down into personal development, health, home, business, and financial. And then I do my monthly goals 1 month at a time based off of this and what I achieved the previous month. So this month we broke that down, and then on the last day of January I will pick my February goals, and I keep going. The only exception is October. I always plan Christmas and begin the weekly baking and cooking, which stocks the freezer for the holidays so I don't wear myself out. Don't want stressful Christmases. Like them nice and calm because I don't have to do any cooking. All I have to do is pull food out of the freezer and show up. Okay. Next we have this is a 4-page spread. This is the dates I need to remember. Now these are set dates. These are holidays. These are birthdays, anniversaries. These are the school calendar. Okay. These are not flexible dates or things that won't necessarily happen from year to year. The things that don't necessarily happen from year to year go in the year at a glance, okay? This is stuff every single year. We know Father's Day is going to happen, Memorial Day is going to happen, Julie's going to have a birthday. I do list daylight savings on here just to keep my head together. President's Day, those types of things, okay? So 4-page spread for that. All right, then the next thing we have is I keep a list of books that I have read for the year and financial information. We do Dave Ramsey, so this is our Dave Ramsey page for the year. That's like the overall big tracker for the goals there. Okay. 100 dreams are things to do, achieve, or experience. They are not things to own for me. So this list was transferred from last year's, which I started it in June, and then started achieving some in July. There's several here, like a commission piece I'm working on right now. And as I think of more things, I'll just add more numbers and add more items. I am 41 years old, and it's time to have some fun, see the world, and experience some things I haven't been able to experience before that. So you'll notice a lot of travel is on here and a lot of experiences, but it's not just international and national. There's also some local stuff on here because we have some really neat things locally to do, and you likely do too. All right. Weight trackers for my cats. 2 kitties need to lose weight, and 1 is a food thief, even though she's thin, so, or appropriately thin. The vet says that she's where she needs to be. So we track their weights. We weigh them in every Sunday, and make sure that she's not stealing their food, they're not stealing her food, and that they are actually losing weight. Okay, home declutter. This is KonMari. All right, I read the book several years ago. Thanks to chronic illness, I have not been able to totally complete the process, but we've been working on it, and every year I redo the whole thing until I get to where I feel like I am where I need to be. I will keep redoing it and keep redoing it, because I'm not where I need to be yet. I'm real close on the clothing, but the rest of this, nope. Okay. Capsule wardrobe ideas. I am moving to a capsule wardrobe this year, and I actually started towards that last year, and this is where I keep the ideas and the brainstorming, and as I work all that out, I get that marked off. Okay, storm prep checklist. We live where the snow can take out power because we are in the south. The grid is not prepared for big snow, and within the last few years we've started getting more and more major for us snowstorms. 6 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, 10 years ago this month, we had a major storm event take out our power for 8 days, and that was not fun. So anytime there's going to be more than 6 inches, we are prepared for power outage, and this is everything that needs to be done to prepare for a long-term power outage. Now, if you'll remember, we had a major snow event in the last month or so, and we didn't lose power, but we were prepared for it, and there's nothing here that really puts you out, so yay. All right, self-care drains and fills, and the no spoons checklist. These are the things that help recharge me. These are the things that drain me. I am an extroverted introvert. I do awesome when I'm out in public. I don't hide from people. I have no problems talking to people, but it drains my battery. It can drain my battery very quickly. Physically, it's exhausting, so I have to refill. So these are the things when I'm having trouble figuring out what I need to do or what I need to avoid. This is what reminds me. No spoons checklist. If I have chronic illness, if I wake up dog sick, and this would also account for things like the flu, where you're just totally knocked out, can't function. This will help. These are the things that, the bare minimums that absolutely must be achieved in order for you not to get sicker. Okay, so I actually have it written on paper here, and I just need to transfer it, but there's a list of like 10 things I ask others to do to make sure that the household doesn't fall out of pot if I'm on the couch for a day. Okay. Period and insomnia tracker. I have cyclic insomnia that is directly connected to my hormones. So this is where I keep track of that. And then we get to the January layout. Now this is a Dutch door layout. You can see there that I have cut some pages, so you can see the edges here. If I run my fingernail under that, I literally just took scissors and cut, and then cut as close as I could here without cutting all the way out. I don't like cutting all the way out because it affects the binding of the book and it loosens the other pages. So I just try to cut about at the first dot and just leave that there. You can use an X-Acto knife with a little cutting pad if you are really just wanting it to look nicer, but I'm a minimalist, so whatever minimum takes to get the job done, we're good. All right, so my habit tracker, these are the goals that you saw previously listed for the January goals. This is just a little medical information. This is the to-do list of things that need to get done, but I just haven't gotten around to it, and they're low priority items. Okay, the green stuff is the stuff that really needs to happen this month at some point, but I'm not gonna stick a date on it other than the 31st. This is the 40 plants challenge. That will be moved to its own page next month, and I think next month I'm gonna take the habit tracker and center it and just have the to-do list have one thing and the goals have one thing. So every day I list the stuff that is just absolute necessity for that day, and or it's got a closing in deadline, and I just keep going with that. Now, if I had this to do over again, I would make this a week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a day for notes. So each week would have its own page. Okay. All right. Next up, the January blog log. These are the posts I'm going to do for the month, my goals for the blog, and the tasks I need to accomplish this month, and the kid tracker. Now, this is where I track homeschool. We don't start back until the second week of January. We always take the first week off. Mama needs a week to recover from Christmas, right? So this is, I have 2 kids, 1 column per child, and 1 block per week, and an additional block for notes. If I had to do this over again, I'd drop the notes and just divide this by the number of weeks in the month. Okay, and I would have dropped that first week since we don't do school that week. All right. I keep a cleaning schedule to remind me for daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. I find that if I don't do something along that line, I only get about a third to half of the daily tasks done. The weekly tasks only get about half done, and the monthly tasks just totally get forgotten. So I keep a cleaning schedule, and then every January we do a no spend challenge. January is our highest bill month and our lowest income month, so we always do no spend on January. So basically, a no spend challenge is you set the parameters for yourself. This is what you will spend money on. This is what you will not spend money on. And then I just literally record everything that we've spent. Now, some people do like to keep their budgets in their bullet journal, and if I was the only person who was looking at it, I absolutely would. However, we decided to keep the budget on the computer so that my husband or I, either one, could access it from anywhere at any time in order to take care of financial matters. So that works better for us. So I just have date, what the money was spent on, and whether it was a yes or a no. Some people list amounts in these columns, keep running totals, all that jazz. Okay. Some people like to constantly think about what they need to improve. Instead, I like to think about what I got right that day. So every day, I list something that went right, because even in the absolute worst day, there's always something that goes right, somebody that shows a kindness, somebody that tries to help relieve a burden, or be present even though it's really difficult. So no matter how bad things get, there's always something that goes right in every day. I think the best way to function is to focus on that instead of what you can improve. And gratitude. Gratitude goes along with that, but I try to get 2 different things every day there. All right. Next up, chronic illness sufferer. I keep a symptom tracker. Now, this is a new format for me. I'm trying it out. But every day I rate multiple things and record, if I get certain supplements in and that kind of stuff, because these are the supplements I'm actually working on adjusting levels of or changing levels. You should get right on that. Symptom is because what I deal with, there can be symptoms that overlap. Nausea is a good one. Nausea can actually come from multiple sources. So I decided I would write this stuff out, because for all of December I kept thinking, histamine, my histamine's flaring. I don't understand why my histamine's flaring. Why is histamine giving me such a fit? It wasn't histamine, it was my blood sugar, because I was eating far too much junk. And if you're following the 40 Plants Challenge, you can see exactly how much junk I ate, because I was very honest there, as much as I didn't want to be. So for me, I had way too much sugar. But you can see there's a lot of overlap here in the symptoms. So when I'm having symptoms and struggling to differentiate what it could be, this is the list that keeps me on track and helps me figure that out. Because had I had something like this in December, I would have gone, oh yeah, that's not histamine. Okay. Finally, our holiday foods and our traditions. It goes along with chronic illness that your menu is going to change from year to year. Some people decide to actually write the recipes out, the menus out, and everything in their bullet journals, so they have it in bound copy form should something happen to their computer. I actually don't think that's a bad idea. And as we go through holidays, I'm going to write that stuff out. So this will be a master list, and then the holidays, the recipes will just be listed as it goes. Okay. That is it for my 2019 setup, both the yearly and the monthly. You'll notice I had some monthly before yearly because this really should have been with the yearly, but this didn't hit me to do this until yesterday. So it's okay. It's all listed in the, this should have been yearly, you know, this is a monthly. That's okay, you know, it's listed in the index. I can find it. It'll work. All right. Finally, this particular one has a pocket in the back, which is really nice to keep a small ruler, and a clothes tab, which I adore these things. So that's it. I would say think about how you're going to use your journal, where you're going to use it. If you need it to fit in your purse so you can take it with you all the time, you might want to go with a smaller size. I don't need to go with a smaller size because this lives in my house and it doesn't leave my house. Shopping lists are kept on Cozy, so my husband can access them anytime, anywhere. My husband does the majority of the shopping in our household, so it makes no sense for me to keep those types of things on my bullet journal. But if you need that type of thing, there are hundreds of amazing posts, thousands of them. Go to Pinterest, type in bullet journal shopping list or bullet journal plus health tracker or whatever else you need. You'll find all sorts of amazing stuff. I just, you know, that's where I get a lot of my ideas. And then the Facebook group Bullet Journal Junkies, okay? That's where I get most of my ideas and all of that. This is the only planning method I've stuck with 3 years now. I did A4 the first year, I went to the smaller A5 for the second year, and I'm back to A4, and A4 is where I will stay. Alright, if you have questions, please post in the comments. I hope this video helps you, and I hope you all have a good afternoon.